Gear motor, we're hitting way on the outside here. Grind the outside of the rocker arm away. We're going to even up the angle.
And then this one will go to that valve, right?
Yes, we're grinding the spur valve. And you wanted the oil line on the oil hole on the exhaust, you said.
That's just how I had it before.
So it's on the exhaust.
Does it matter where it goes?
Not really. Grinding tool.
Where would you put the oil thing on your bike?
If I was only doing one, probably on the intake.
Is there a specific reason?
If I do them, or I just make them all have holes. On my sports, I just make them all got holes. Takes care of that problem.
Hmm.
Am I doing fat? Yeah. Let's do the right angle. I like oil up in there. It lubricates everything, cools the springs. I like lots of oil. That's not how Harley likes it. Harley doesn't want any oil on anything because it makes it leak. Use oil.
Hmm.
They're against oil. Me, I like oil.
They're against a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Probably don't like you modifying your stuff either.
No, to avoid warranty.
That's right, see. It's a good thing we don't have no warranty on this bike. Alright, so see the little rub mark we got right there?
Yes.
See, it's square. We don't want square, we want to grind the side of the corner away. So, oops, it's not square. So now, I'll take it a little bit more. Still not much different. We got square over there. See how much I really moved it? Moved it quite a bit. See the gap under here?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look at your curve, make sure it's still got your curve going. You know you're over here. Yeah, put that on before we do it. So this is a back and forth deal. Want to keep the grit out of the new parts. So you get rid of grinding grit. So it goes in there like this. You can probably just hold it like this and go like that. It'll be fine. When we get closer, we'll bolt it in to make sure. So you mark it up. And that's all the way down. We don't need to go quite that far because it's not going to work that far.
Looks like it's taking it off back there.
Actually, it's rubbing over here right now. No, it's rubbing over here. So this here, I don't think we're actually coated. mark coming in.
Yeah.
So we overcompensated.
So gotta grind a little bit of a curve back into it.
Not the curve, the angle. Now we look over here and we look at how it's contacting. So now it's in the center of the rocker. It goes right to the edge real quick, see?
Yeah.
It scrubs across the surface because of bad rocker ratios. The geometry should be way the hell up here, not down here. So you don't want to dig into the outside of the valve, which is what we're doing right now.
So we have to round that edge off.
Got to change the angle from here to here.
That's what I mean.
So you still got to keep the curve in it, but you got to just rotate it over more. And we got to bring it up a little bit on the height because we're too low. Oh, my jig. This keeps the rocker arm square and straight. Give you something to work from. It's a nice flat surface. Very aggressive.
Yeah.
Makes it really hard to grind. In order to feel anything, I got to touch the stone. If I touch it, it just cuts it right off. So. Makes it hard to do. It's very uneven because it's so aggressive. Now it's hitting, not on a tip anymore. That's because I got too much of it ground off. Let's see, it's way off the edge now.
Yeah.
Let's see, it comes in right there, it contacts at a real high lift, see?
Right in the middle.
So now I got to just take, my rocker's lifting too on me. So we got the overall height about right, but now right now it's peaked like that in the middle, so we need like that.
Just touch it.
So I need to bring it down, make a radius out of it. Problem is that's way too aggressive to do that. I can't feel it at all. I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. First thing I do is get this thing less aggressive. So we have a less aggressive block. Still aggressive, but maybe a little bit harder. Damn it. I keep getting the bolts. These work the best when they're about half worn out.
Yeah.
Gives you a fairly good finish. And it still cuts. curve in it. Might have to come back and do more on the tip, but I think we're close. Now I make this look pretty easy because I've done a lot of these. It's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
With a real light touch, especially with a needs this like that.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you could ruin your part real quick, I bet.
Oh, I can take a 1/4 inch off this in a heartbeat with that disc. So damn aggressive right now. Kind of defeats the purpose of the arm. See, it's kind of dirty all the way across the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Look how, see, now we're more on the inside of the valve now.
Yeah.
As it goes across, it rubs, but it doesn't really dig in. That's normal high lift is right there. That's bottomed out way down here, see?
So it won't really go that far anyways.
It ain't gonna go that far.
Mm.
I don't think it's digging in right there, but
Doesn't sound like it is.
so we just gotta see if we got the angle pretty close. See where it's hitting?
Mm-hmm. Right there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Close to the middle of the valve too.
So it should be contacting a little bit more area. So the angle's slightly off because we want to get more all the way across. It's a little bit high on the center, but not by much. You can also put more pressure on it like this by holding the valve with your finger. Where's the way clicker? Alright, so we still need a little bit less angle, a little bit more radius on there. And we need to do an angle change. And we need to cut more on the top to the bottom. And actually that thing is so aggressive over there, it's going to be hard to just take a little off. Pretty much if I can feel it, it's cutting too much. That's the problem. Okay, so we need to cut more on the top. Let's come up just a little bit. Some kind of an idea where we're at. Almost square again. Too much. Okay, so I want to, let me see this. Gotta get a reference point to where we're at. Yeah, it's about the center of where I'm hitting. Maybe slightly further forward. So that's got to be the center of my arc. I don't want to cut more on two ends, really. I have to lightly swipe across, but I don't want to cut too much. It's still in there, see?
Mm-hmm.
purpose did not grind it right there on the tip. Bring it right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see I didn't really grind any up on the very tip here either. I was trying to avoid cutting those areas at all. If you cut across the whole face evenly, it wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Trying to change it. If I went up with twice as much contact what I had, I'd be happy. But ideally, you want to have a nice, big rectangular area about like that big, where it's nice evenly top to bottom.
With roller rockers, do they contact or does it just roll?
It rolls. So you just have a little narrow band like that it actually hits on and it rolls.
But what if the geometry is off, like with panheads?
Rollers roll. That's what they do.
So it doesn't matter if the geometry is off?
It still makes a difference, but not as much. As long as it's still on the valve head. If it's so far off it's not on the valve head, you got a problem with it.
Do they really improve the life of your motor, the rollers?
No, it makes it less reliable because the roller might break.
Oh shoot, and then that thing's bouncing around in there.
Then you got rollers bouncing in there.
Why do they make them then?
Okay, so see how the radius looks pretty good, but it's the angle's still off. So we're good on our radius. I'm not anywhere near my tip, so I can change the angle slightly. Now this is runnable like this, but it'd be nice to get more surface area. See, we're only getting about half the valve we're contacting on. Now the valve will wear to a kind of a curve shape to it, and then we get more contact. That's not what we're trying to do. So now we're going to regrind again and see if we can make it better and not worse. That's the hard part.
Why do they make roller rockers if they're not as good?
They don't really make them, you have to custom make them.
Well, why did people come up with that idea?
The harder the lift is, the better it's going to help you. If you notice you're scrubbing across the valve face, that's a lot of pressure. So that's trying to take the valve and shove it sideways, it's going up and down, which wears the guide out and the valve stem out.
So if you have a really powerful engine.
So the heavier the valve spring, the more load you put on everything. The bigger the cam, the more lift. So it becomes a problem.
So it can help the reliability of a high lift.
Yeah, but you have maintenance on hot rod motors. In race motors, that's why you take them apart all the time.
Check that stuff out.
Yep. I want to see. See how it's just barely cutting more than this side? That's what we're looking for. So now, I need to kind of just copy the arc and not change it too much. Hopefully that was enough. These race parts are made for racing, not street.
Where you're running it like once or twice and then you take it apart and rebuild it, huh?
At least inspecting it, make sure it's still good.
So that's why you don't have to have as high of tolerances as you do on street parts, right?
I'm not sure what you mean by that one.
Well, I always hear you say race tolerance or racing clearance.
Yeah, you gotta have a certain amount of looseness to it so it'll float around, otherwise it'll stick.
But for the street, that would just destroy itself, right?
Still works.
It would?
It just makes noise. With open exhaust, you don't hear all the rattling and knocking. Street bike, you do. It's got mufflers on it.
Mine doesn't.
See how much that 45 made noise? It's making a lot of noise. Has a lot of motor noise in it. It's got big hot rod parts in it.
My pan made a good amount of noise while it was running.
had issues. You had loose rocker arm, you had misalignment stuff.
So the valve train will quiet down a lot, you think?
You never know on a panhead.
I mean, it wasn't like too noisy, but it just had like a very rhythmic
Okay, so now
sound.
we're hitting only on the fucking side over here. What happened? It looks like there's a black mark over here, but hard on your hand. So now we're on the other side. Or is that the same side? No, it's the same side. So I'm going to change it enough to make a difference. See, now I'm picking up the inside. I got to grind the inside now. See how it's rubbing all the way down to here now?
Mm-hmm.
It's hitting way on the inside. Time to grind a little extra on the inside. The angle's shifting too much, or the radius is moving too much. Okay, and we're still a little higher. Keep moving it up, but it ain't moving enough to make a difference. Is it not moving? Just that far off. It's moving. It's moving the wrong way. It's getting worse, not better. See the angle we got in here now?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've been beaten up, it's gone down. What the fuck? See if I made a difference this time. I swear to hit the table up and it drops.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. The concussion wave is more than the pressure wave is. I've had that happen before too. I'm looking to see if there's any light. I can actually see how far it off it is. At least it's bright. hair more, but it's very close. There might be a couple thou, 2-3 thou less here than here, but it's hard to see. So it's getting wider.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is now we're more on the tip. Shake around too much out the inside. The angle's getting closer though. It's kind of like chasing the tail doing these things.
Mm-hmm. I guess at a certain point you just gotta leave it where it is, huh?
Well, it's runnable the way it is, but I don't like it, so I'm not gonna leave it.
Well, I mean, anything is really runnable. You saw my old ones.
Yeah,
I'm just fine with that.
I'm not.
Right.
Feels dead straight. Nope. It might have moved, it might not have. It's hard to tell. Didn't get until I hit there. I definitely cut more on that side now. Right. Should be good or too much? Blind you. Definitely not too much. Looks pretty good. We whip off the valve head. So now I should leave a mark on that too. Watch how it sweeps. It's not bottoming out on the tip. It's going all the way out to the edge of the valve, but it's not on the tip. Same on the inside. See how it's pretty close, but doesn't dig in. It's hitting more on this side now than the other side. And you can see how it's sweeping on the outside of the valve to about here.
Mm-hmm.
So we overdid it. Too much. Hands probably. So burnishing in right there.
Mm-hmm.
See a wear mark?
Yep.
It's actually a hole.
Oh my gosh, just from this?
No, it's from before. Like a grind mark in there. I don't think going back and forth is going to put a gouge in your steel block. Have to be pretty strong to do that.
Yeah.
It's like something with a chop stones in there or something, what it looks like. I don't know how that would have been put in there.
Can't understand how a rocker arm would do that.
I don't think the rocker arm could do that. I think it was worn in there by something else. Alright, now let's see what we got this time. Over here. Getting worse, not better. I think it was worse. I'm going to grind the bottom now. Back like we were before where it wasn't good. Put a little more curve back into it. Getting too flat looking to me. So it's doing more scrubbing back and forth than it was rolling. Keep this up, it's going to be back to the stock height again.
Yeah.
Remember how this one's way longer than the other one was? This is the original.
Maybe that's why theirs were so small.
Hard to tell. This usually just doesn't work this way, but let's try this. Pretty even now. See a little red on it?
Mm-hmm.
A little more area, and it's starting to pick up a little bit on this side. Alright, I think we're close, pretty close. Took a lot of work to get a little bit better than it was 3 times ago. That's normal. Fingernail off. So right there on the edge, sweep across. At full lift we do not dig in yet. I don't know if you can see the angle or not.
Kinda.
The hell? They're rubbing only one spot. It's giving me a false number. You can see how it's, see the mark all the way over here, the smoothness?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hitting almost 100%. I don't know why that valve should be flat. It's weird how it's doing it. You can see it's rubbing all the way over to here. That's weird.
Is there any play in the valve?
Yes, but not that kind of play. Yeah, it's starting to rub it through now, see?
Mm-hmm.
Now the whole mark's coming in. It must just be the grit. There's only a couple of high spots in the grit, even though it's kind of hitting everywhere. You know, the grinding marks are a little bit thicker in one spot. Because you can see it burnishing across the whole surface. And you can see a nice wide area now, so.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much all the way across.
Close, not quite all the way across, but yeah, it should be going all over the edge, but it's not. But it's clear. That's plenty adequate. You can see how it's not digging in on the top or the bottom at all. And you got a nice area in the middle, which is where you want to roll it at. That's where it's going to, much rolling as you're going to get out of this job. It doesn't really roll too much, it kind of just slides, but the sliding mark is staying. If you look at it, most of the sliding is only in the middle of the valve.
Yeah.
And you can see the mark on the valve is coming in also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's staying pretty much in the middle of valve 2, which is where you want it to be. So that keeps the pressures more centralized. You're still going to have some side-to-side loading on the valve stem no matter what, because it is rubbing. But at least it's being concentric. It's not digging into anything stupid or doing anything weird. Alright, so there you go. That was easy. Nothing to it, right?
Yeah.
So here we go with the next one.
Do
All
it
right.
in your backyard.
Take a break. The button.